fight. Harmy just to be able to take care of on this north side. If they get this Elim and they get it fast, which they do, they now have control of the entire northwest hemisphere of the map. That is huge for this trio. They can loot up in peace, have the damage as well off spawn. They should be looking for a really good game. Granted, they get that reboot.
Now we go into what we were seeing that was happening. The feed Analyx and Xtweez getting some knocks, kind of patrolling Misty Meadows really well here, keeping people from getting in here. And they're formerly known as, this is more on the gold and yellow bridge. I thought we're on the other side near Panther's Prowl, but now they're going to go into their old school stomping grounds of Caddy Corner, knowing that, you know, the trio of Trixie tends to rotate towards Retail Row. They know that this is available. They won't find a lot of noms or peppers or things of that sort, because considering that, but I think this is what's surprising this development is Jerky and Trulix pushing really aggressively, maybe dropping into Misty Meadows here on the Misty side of the map.
I mean, they have one teammate down. They need to do something, and that card is way too far away. So maybe the best points they can get for the moment are in the early game, are in engagements where everyone is still at even footing in terms of power and loadouts. At the same time, every fight they go towards will be a 2v3, and Floki, the Zippos Clement, not easy foes to be able to challenge. So yeah, there's a huge disengage and a different rotation for Trulex entirely. Toos, though, I mean, they still have their grand split of Sludgy.
You know, I know we're watching Toos right now, but I would like to see where is Malibuka, because Malibuka, we have been seeing that they were kind of clashing with Andretta a little bit earlier as the day went on. I would like to know, where did Malibuka kind of mix it up a bit? Now we're seeing the first zone here. It's finally we get a southern zone. A little taste of this here is going to be right smack dab between Holly Hatchery and Weeping Wood. So that's going to be a home zone advantage for Kirachi, Toos, and Stompy and Stormy, right? They're going to have the ability to kind of take up all this swampy area. That means right there, right north of them, is Savage Trio that's right above them, sitting down at Logjam. Last time we saw it, Kirachi was literally had Logjam all to himself here, but now Savage Trio is sitting right there. He's going to occupy that space, but this means Taste and Vino, they have an opportunity alongside with Reason to kind of make some noise here and maybe move up the leaderboard. They're right there on the north side at Believer Beach, and look at that. Coral Castle has two teams kind of colliding right at the end of there.
There's going to be very different flavors for every team as well. Games 1 and 2 previously today were very more, you know, north side entirely. Very more towards even ground all throughout. Not that much water. When it comes to this game, we're looking at how things are breaking down here in the final one of the day. South side, it's very different. The rotations as well, when you're pulling all these northern trios like Chapixes from Craggy, Savages from Steamy, and as you mentioned, Tazens from Believer Beach. The third parties become that much more lethal, that much more fast. The, you know, overall quality of players are so much higher from these northern drop spots.
Last game of the day. We're going to have 8 games tomorrow. Aqua taking a great position here on the zipline hill. It's one of their strategies they do for Storm Surge tags as well. Looks like things are kind of opening up a little bit more flexibility. It looks like that Parasite may have taken it. Yes, it did. It took the headshot right there from the snipe. Aqua now is going to feel a little bit more cautious there looking around, but this is what they like to do when there's a southern zone. They move up here to the zipline hill, look for Storm Surge tags across the Weeping Woods. So we've been seeing that they've been executing their Storm Surge a little bit. It hasn't been working out for Aqua. We've been seeing them get into hot waters when they kind of dip into some box fights here. And again, this is surprising for a team that has the deal and Noah Riley, considering that they love to have box fights. But look at this very aggressive rotation from Hen, Janice, and Chapix coming all the way down to Craggy Cliffs. And now they're right smack dab sitting on tight here at Boney Burbs.
At God positioning in a few other games earlier today, but didn't get to actually transition and turn it into much this time. To have that experience, they're looking the final game of day 1 to bring things forward here, but over peaking could be dangerous. The Parasite's there for Hen to make sure, you know, it's not going to be too much of a punishment, especially the headshot snipe. And controlling Boney, I mean, that's huge too. I would assume that this zone will go even further down. That means they'll be looking at many more teams the longer they stay here. That's lots of opportunities for damage. Here are 2 of the teams that are dangerous when it comes to just navigating that mid game and going even closer towards the end. Sapphic, Utric Default, and over at Dirty, they kind of experience as to what's going on the east side. Same thing with Savage coming in from Steamy. They might not be as close to the zone, or at least starting off towards the gorge here, but they understand who is what and where. They know that it's Sapphic they're dealing with right now as well, and there's more teams around.
It's a pretty decent rotation from them. It's not as aggressive as all the way to the West Coast. So Patrick, Default, and Safik here are going to sit on the edge of this, but they know they still got a lot of work to do because zones tend to keep pushing further and further south when it's first revealed. Now we go to Rifless David and Astro, no doubt, with the biggest test when it comes to a mental check that we've ever probably seen in the FNCS. Now they go ahead and push up into Holly Hatchery here to try to get an engagement from the trio coming from there. Trying to see that if they have any kind of positional advantage in this box fight. Astro looking around for his feet. Rifless, Savid, and Astro here. Yes, and that is Orion, the first time we've seen on the broadcast. This is one of those engagements, though. Like I said, you know, if they get through this test, they could definitely set themselves because this is a zone is made for them.
A lot of teams are also playing much closer to home, knowing that this is their last game of the day. So really making sure that everything goes correctly, experimentation probably down to a minimum. And if there is risky things happening, it'll be the whole team going full swing a lot faster than the games we've seen previously before. So for Surprise, I mean, he's been going down first in the trio over and over again. Benji Fishy knocked. The Loot Boys active. The question is, do they capitalize on something or do they get clapped back? It looks like Backfeed High Joe go down to Joe and Shadow. So the insurance was there for Benji. But over here, you can see a lot of hesitation from Surprise and FSI to overpeak. They've been getting punished so far today. Now, as we tune into this fight all the way in zone, it looks like we're watching a completely different game. These guys are locked in. Benji's revived. He wasn't fully eliminated either. That's huge for the trio. And they have 3 extra bodies of loot to work with.
They're going up against Ingram, Buzz, and Vox here that go from Defiant Dish. They do rotate into Weeping Woods to kind of pick on anything else that's leftovers of the cabin. And so far, they've been greeted by Joe, Benji, Shadow. Here comes the rest of the Coastal Trios making their way through. Mr. Savage is there. Patrick there. That's a great rotation. They're making up ground. And you see Hen, Janice, and Chapex up there on the north side. But I know that Joe, Shadow, and Benji, they want center. They don't want to be here on the outside of it. They still have a lot more to go. Of course, Weeping Woods, the big center point that has the height advantage, is the Guardian Tower. And now we go into the fight out to the cabin to one on the outskirts, and still Trulex is there, is still feeling the wounded damage from that Misty Meadows, and Kirachi Stormright too is there to welcome them.
They're kind of on defense in their hometown right now. Putrick taken out by Chapix, and we saw he was near the gorge to their east side, so transfer of power over there. Meanwhile, Two's going for some nice piece control on these walls. Jerky kind of bullied all the way back. We know that this is a duo right now. Back from the right side. Not a full answer here for anything. Another shot for Toos, but it's not going to be hard enough to take off Trulex's shields.
It's the last game here. You want to leave on a high note. Toos and Kirachi Stormright have been hitting all the right notes to get them into the top of the board here. This is game 4. They're sitting in second place going into this match here. Trulix and Jerky have been in the middle of the board throughout the entire day. Be more aggressive going to Misty Meadows, considering they're in landing at the Hydro 16 split. We're seeing the adjustments being made, and sometimes game 6, you see either people kind of play close to the chest or they throw the kitchen sink at a last second here, because you're definitely going to have to hit the VOD reviews to make those adjustments for our defending champions to at least have a say into repeating. Now, a lot of this being said right here from Surprise FSI at Holly Hatchery. This is their drop spot, so that's why they are sitting at height. But Saber Rifle and Astro here, content with being kind of like in the mid layer in this small scrum as Rotary gets knocked. Art Skill picks up some eliminations and knocks. And again, Void, I'm just quite surprised. If you had to ask me what team has impressed you the most today, so I would say it's Fast Roki's trio, indeed.
Definitely invaded a lot of different boxes you wouldn't expect and done things on like the shadow of the server. But right now, as of this game, they're only about 47 points in total, accounting for all the differences and the changes we've done throughout the day. And as a result, they really need to climb back in this one, get towards the top 10 that, you know, we definitely see that they deserve. Same thing for Save that we were watching, much higher previously, but now he's in 6th place with 72 points overall as of game number 3. So we'll see what he can do in this game 4, the last game of the day.
My pick right here of Tayson, Reason, and Vino hasn't had a very successful day for their pedigree. It's been one of those days where they're just been being ousted on their rotations. They're getting their kind of sticking into the hand of their cookie jar too far, getting their wrist slapped, and it's messy, man. And it's the same way I'm trying to describe how their day's been. It's been like the way. The words cannot describe that they're not in the running so far. It's just been one of those days is that it's just not working out for them. And hopefully game 5 going into day 2 will be a lot better for Taste and Reason and Vino. But what I did like from what we saw, Vino has been clutching at in-game, and that's a great sign if you're a fan of this trio, considering that Vino has had a lot of those kind of confidence issues. When you get picked up by a big team like Taste and Reason, the big names of the EU region, you kind of have this imposter fraud syndrome vibing, but so far, getting those huge eliminations in game, that will be something that he definitely has to build on that success. Oh no, Seti, no. Storm Surge.
Yeah, this is trouble for them. They're going to have to get aggressive on one of these trios around them. We know how good Benji is at deflecting the pressure.
Oh,
but he gets
Benji.
knocked first by Teak, so damage that he needed definitely. 60 above now. We'll have to reach for more, and they know they have a 3v2 advantage, so Teak might just. At the same time, this is a very passive trio in these moments. They like to get a little bit off of Brother Trio, a nice little chip of damage, and then base up again. One Elan, get the mats, base up again. So a follow through might not be here, especially when there's so many teams watching, 19 below. The pressure plus Surge, plus a possible ratio from Red Rush's team as they jump straight into the box. Exterior's going down, Cammy taken out, Mappy, low HP. It's over for them in the blink of an eye.
This is a great advantage for Savage here. This is what led to a lot of success in the previous season. Watching into these engagements from a distance, using the AR and stealing away elimination points from people who are box fighting. We saw it all last season, and Savage right there, you've seen on top of the cabin right there, setting in some beams. Red Rush mapping Asterios. This is just a cluster. Look at this mini map. It's its own little center point almost of madness.
It looks like these guys have their own memo of where half and half is going, so they're going to be chilling there for now.
I didn't get it.
You're not on the mailing list for Weeping Woods?
I think it maybe got
that in season 3, Sancho.
I think it got sent to spam. It got sent to spam. I got to double check. Unfortunate. I got to start next time.
You might be where Andy is in their own little cluster, the wrong address, but lots of teams will be trying to make it in. There's lots of space to work with too. You'll notice the map too, just silent right now. Everyone's not really colliding just yet with each other. Woods aren't weeping as of now.
I'm looking at Kirachi. He has not a lot of AR ammo. He does have these fireflies that he could just set this entire woods ablaze here, but there's something that kind of went wrong and they're looting for this. I gotta know what else does Toos and Stormy have here, because normally this is a stronger trio going into this kind of zone. This is in their backyard. It's up north right behind them. It's the neighboring zone of Weeping Woods, and we normally see them have mobility. They got a lot of materials. They're feeling good, but whatever engagement that occurred here in the south has definitely wounded Kirachi's trio. There's Malibuka.
He's looking good for now. But we'll see exactly what he can do next.
Bubak and Rara Kylie, another trio that has been impressive throughout the day, has made a big surprise in taking on these engagements. A lot of storm fighting, a lot of purple when you see their POVs. They win those engagements and then they get picked up later on by another trio that made the rotation. Malibuka gliding, using the trees, the leaves, block the bullets almost. A Bubak. Kylie goes down. It looks like Kylie's going to be knocked. Aware is going to glide over and follow through. He's going to use the tree line. Hezix is the one that eliminated Kylie here. Going to use this big tree for safe haven, but just not to get all the way in. So look, we already talked about Kirachi, Toos, and Stormy not having a lot. They might be gifted this easy Elan by Bubak, who's literally out of builds. He's out of builds and he's on the front doorstep.
Trying something. Usually you're in this position in the 9th zone. It's going to be tough as Janice claims Andy as he's trying to walk away. Aware also down. Bubak for some reason just gets to stay alive. No one's really watching those back ramps at all. Jason, Reason, and Vino, you're talking about, this could be the game where they clap back. They've kind of flopped here and there, and yeah, they've hit top 10. They have a few elims, those classic clutches from Taste, and I mean, we haven't really seen too many of them today, so we'll see if this is the game where you can really bring it back. Weeping Low Ground, it's a place where we've seen magic happen in seasons past across all regions, so they're setting themselves up for it right now. It might be overall trouble. 12 people still need to go down, and they go from 80 surge above down to 6. their game held on by just the threat as so many more people do damage. Daco, his entire trio gone. Flecken, the last one left alive. I mean, everyone on the feed, it is Express right now are just getting taken out.
Right now, the Zone 5 has been revealed here, and this is going to be a planning thing for Thraces. Flecken has a max pull here. The next minute on this rotation is going to be grueling. He's going to feel every second tick as he's making his way to the safe zone. Tayson, Vino, and Reason here making their way, pushing ZQ from the backside. Void's there as well with Fasroki and Karma. Ingram is now on the move, but Amplify, ADN, and Matzo here on the front side already in the safe zone. Right behind them is Clement trailing them, and that is the rotation that's happening here. Now we're on board with Kirachi, Toos, and Stormy. They're making a great rotation considering they're eccentric here, but I just still have like a red card right now. I'm not feeling too confident in what they have here. Nice beam, nice 30 tag to kind of send a receipt right before they glide through, but I'm still concerned here, Shio.
Yeah, they'll be operating off low. We saw before when they're in this position, it's a little bit troublesome, but they can affect so many other trios. Taste is going to be one of them, and look at that gift that comes rolling down. They save everything but the launch pad, and that's going to be huge for Kiriachi to use as they move forward in these moving zones.
Tastings has been having to struggle here going into the first moving from Zone 5. So I'm going to definitely have to take a look at it and see where are they slipping up, where are the mistakes happening. If they have time to adjust it, considering day 2, we'll have 8 games here as Zone 5 in 10 seconds is closing here. Kirachi coming into this match is 2nd place, and as well you see Savid here coming into this match in 6th place.
See what they can do to take over first. Weeping Woods actually staying inside the forest, it looks like right now with this zone. Everyone's kind of launch padded in and maybe overshot their landing. They're gonna have to move all the way back, shuffle their way onto old builds. 18 teams will take this test, but only one will win on this final game of the day.
And there's not a lot of elevation along the way, just a lot of trees that to break on through, so they could definitely kind of find their breathing room as the low ground will be